Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Hi, Miss Sally. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I am doing so good. It is a gorgeous day out. I'm loving it.
Yay. Is the sun still shining? I work in an office where there's no windows, so I haven't been outside for a while.
Yeah, I've got a window right in front of me here, and it is nice and sunny. I love
But
it.
this is going to be perfect because today we are going to be talking about seeds. And that sun gets us, I think it would get us a little bit excited that we can start thinking about seeds and growing and gardening and things for this summer.
It's almost time.
All right. I'm super excited to be here today.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be back again today. And like I was saying, the sun is shining outside, I guess. And today we are actually going to be talking about seeds and germination and how plants grow. You can see my giant plant right here. I wish this was real, but it's not. It would be kind of cool to have a plant that huge. So, what we're going to be doing today is you are actually going to be making a miniature greenhouse. It's going to be kind of fun. So, if you've got your kit, you have a bunch of materials in here. And what I'm going to do, what I did was I had just a plate, just a paper plate or a plate from the kitchen. And I'm going to dump all my supplies out. You know what I think I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to tip this a little bit and then maybe you can kind of see what I'm doing. You might miss part of my face, but I just am dumping my stuff out on this plate. And you guys might want to do that. Now, I will tell you, when I threw the kits together, I put in a whole bunch of soybean seeds. And today you're only going to need like 2 or 3 of those. But I thought you would think it was fun to have a bunch of seeds to look at. These are actually soybean seeds that we grew on our farm right here in Ross County. So that was fun to be able to pick something that we actually grew and we harvested last year. And now I get to use these seeds that we have been storing up. And you guys should have some of these. We have been storing them up in a grain bin, and we haven't had the chance to haul them into the grain elevator yet. And so I got a bunch of these seeds out and put them in this kit. So what we're going to do, like I said, is basically make a miniature little tiny greenhouse, because the supplies you got in your kit were the soybeans, and then you have a little bag and it has some beads in there. And we'll talk about what that is in just a second. You have a cotton ball and some string and a paper sun. So today's activity is pretty simple. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I will talk about the supplies first, and then we'll talk about what they do. So the cotton ball is actually going to be what is representing your soil when we put our soybean necklace together. So that will actually be representing the soil. And then the soybean seeds are representing themselves, or the soybean seeds. Then you might have, you'll need a little bit of water, and you're only going to need about a teaspoon. So just a little tiny bit of water. I have my water in this cup, but it's just plain tap water. Then you also are going to be looking at this paper sun that we were talking about. He's upside down. There we go. And the paper sun is what is going to represent the sunlight that a plant needs for photosynthesis. Then your little tiny beads that are in this baggie, these beads are what represents the nutrients that the plant pulls up out of the soil. This is for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Because you know what? Seeds need vitamins too. And for them to grow and to make great big plants, they need to have their vitamins like you guys take your vitamins. The other thing that you'll need is this little tiny plastic bag. Now I went ahead, because the beads were so tiny, put the beads inside the bag so that they wouldn't get all mixed up. But what we want to talk about before we make our soybean necklace is, and I think Miss Kelsey's going to pull this up. It's a like a chart that shows how a seed germinates. And you would have a copy of this if you picked up one of the kits, but if you didn't, it's popped right up on their screen. So how a seed germinates is this tiny, tiny little plant embryo, which would be like this little seed, begins to grow inside the seed. And you're not going to be able to see it, but it's in there. And when it gets the right temperature, because it needs to have warmth in order to grow, and it also has the right amount of moisture because it has to have moisture, then this is going to start growing. So the embryo, if you look at your the picture up here, the embryo is going to use the food that is within the seed, and it's going to get energy, and it's going to make it be able to grow. And then a root is going to break down. Let's see, I'll do it this way. A root is going to be able to come down out of the seed, and it's going to go down into the earth. So it's going to go down. Roots act like little anchors that actually hold the seed in place. And the roots are super important because that is how we drink. The plant can't take up a cup like, let's see, they can't take up a cup like this, can they? And take a big old drink and just be like, nope. So they are going to actually be using their roots to drink the water. And then the stem of the plant grows upward, and then the leaves will come out. You can see on the last little piece of that picture that the foliage, that the leaves unfurl, they come out from the plant. And once those leaves start growing, then the plant can start making its own food from photosynthesis. So what I have is this giant plant here, and it's really cool. So you have like these roots that are hanging off of this plant. The roots are going to take and they're going to drink up the water. Let's pretend this is soil, even though it's a cup. They're going to drink, drink, drink. The moisture and the water goes up inside the plant. And then the seed starts to grow. And then when the roots have this, get the right amount of nutrients and moisture, the seed will start to grow. You'll get a stem, which is this little tiny part. The stem comes up, and then the leaves start uncurling. And then when these big leaves start uncurling, that's what I was talking about when it can photosynthesize. When it photosynthesizes, then that is how the plant grows, and it grows its own food. And then it can turn into like a really gorgeous plant. Look at this. Now, I will tell you that we're not going to talk today a lot about like this part of the plant. We are actually just going to be focusing on mainly on like how the plant grows. And so if we pull that chart back up and we talk about photosynthesis real quick, photosynthesis, a big word, that is a word, that it's a process that green plants use sunlight to make their own food. So the plants get the water from the roots, go back up into there like what we were talking about. And then the leaves are going to take in this carbon dioxide from the air. This is after the plant gets big. It takes in carbon dioxide from the air. And then the carbon dioxide goes into the leaves. And that's where it'll start, it photosynthesizes, makes the energy. Then this whole plant releases oxygen back out into the air, which is what we humans and animals actually use oxygen to breathe. So people release carbon dioxide that the plant needs, and then the plant releases oxygen that we use to breathe. So it's kind of a neat little cycle that we're doing. And then what our activity today, and we're going to go ahead and get started on that. Our activity today is a soybean seed necklace that you'll be making, that you will actually be able to see this soybean start to take root and it'll start to grow. Now here's one that I started, and here's the seed when we began. It's super tiny right there. And then I put it in here, and I don't know if you guys can see that. See how fat that soybean seed is getting already? It's growing. It's starting to expand so that the roots can start coming out. So I was hoping that it would already be out, but I didn't quite have it in a warm enough place. And so that's why it's starting to expand, but it's not real big yet. But if Kelsey pulls up the picture for us, you can see right there on your screen, this is one that I was growing, and it has already started to grow just like this one. Let's see, there we go. Just like this one, only this one's a lot bigger, and I had taken a picture of it. So if you look at that picture, you can see where the roots are down in the bottom. You can see where the stems are. There's 2 seeds in there. And where the leaves are starting to uncurl. And of course, you can see the seed. The seed is the brown part, and you can see the little roots and then the stem. And that's all inside that baggie. So you guys will be able to make this today. So it's super, super easy. So here we go. You're just going to take your baggie, and like I said, the beads in there are going to represent the nitrogen, potassium, and all the different nutrients that it needs. So here's the nutrients in there. Your cotton ball represents the soil. So you're just going to tuck that down in there. Down, we'll get that down in the bag. Okay. And then you're going to have your seeds down in there. So we are going to put 2 or 3, and you can pick. Doesn't matter. You don't want to put all the seeds in there. I just put a bunch of seeds in there in your packet, but you only want to put like 2 or 3 seeds. You're going to put your seeds down in there and get them next to the soil so they're all tucked in. Then you're going to only put about a teaspoon of water. So if you take a little tiny dab of water, you can pour it, like I have it in a cup, but I tell you what works really good is if you have a little tiny measuring spoon. That worked really well. That's how I got like this one down in there. I just put the cotton ball, I put my seeds, and I had this opened up, and I put like a teaspoon of water down in there. Then it's getting its moisture, right? Well, what else does it need? It needs to be warm. So we got a little paper sun right here. And I cut mine out around. That's, I just cut mine out. I think yours is in a square shape. If you would like to cut around that and make it, you can. So it's a little smaller, so it fits in here. So get that all cut out and slide that down in there because you need sunshine on your seeds to make them warm. Then remember, your cotton ball would be already damp. Get some moisture in there, and you're going to have your seeds. There's my seeds, and there is my sun. And the best way to do this is tuck those seeds around so that they're in front of your soil so that they're getting that moisture. You have your sun, and then you're going to, we want this to be able to have some oxygen in there or some carbon dioxide in there so that the plant can take in. So we're going to give a little breath. Give it some air so it'll grow nice and big. And then we're going to zip it up nice and tight. And there is your little miniature greenhouse. So when it starts growing and your seeds start getting nice and fat like these, you'll have a little tiny miniature greenhouse. And Kelsey, if you pop that picture right back up there again of where the roots, yeah, there we go. So in just a couple days, 2 or 3 days, you're going to have your seed miniature greenhouse is going to have seeds growing in it, just like that one that's up on the screen that's showing those pictures. The other thing you could do, and what the yarn is for, is if you would like to punch a hole in this and let's see, I guess I didn't poke a hole. I need hole puncher. Poke a hole in this, and you could tie a string around this. If you tie a string around this and you wear your necklace around, if you tuck it into your shirt just a tiny bit, like, ooh, and it'll keep it nice and warm, like next to your heart, keeps it nice and warm. And then that'll help it actually start to sprout faster because it's getting all that extra warmth. But I just want to remind you guys, like, don't try to sleep with this on around your neck because that wouldn't be a good idea. So that is our lesson for today, is talking about how a seed germinates and how the plant photosynthesizes so that it can grow and make its own food. And then you guys can make your own little greenhouse, and hopefully your little seed will start to spread out like this one, and then it'll end up looking like the one that we had showed the picture of a couple times, where you'll actually have the roots. And the main thing is, what you want to do is keep this someplace where it's really like where it can stay like toasty warm. Okay, so next to your skin, you can hold it in your hands, any place where it can be like a little bit extra warm. Well, I hope you guys like this activity today. It's a super simple one, but it's fun because then you'll actually get to see how the seed grows, and maybe it'll pop some interest in you, and you would end up liking to grow some more seeds this summer. You can plant them in the spring, and then you could grow your own crops, and maybe you want to plant some corn. And it'll grow just like this, and then it grows all summer. Then you can pick that corn and you can shuck that corn up and you can eat that up. Or you could do tomatoes, any kind of fruits or vegetables you like. That's a lot of fun. You can set up your own garden. So I hope you guys like this activity, and thanks for tuning in today.
That was awesome, Sally.
I hope that this inspires. That's a good word. I hope this inspires some people to want to be able to get out there and think about things like how I can make this little tiny seed. One seed can produce a whole crop, and it could feed you. I mean, that's just pretty amazing. So if you take, if this was a kernel of corn, this one little tiny seed would turn into an entire ear of corn, and then you would have food to eat. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
That is super, super cool. So this is your last lesson with us for this month, right?
Correct. Yes, it is.
Sad.
I know, it's been so fun. I've had such a good time.
And you will be back with us in April, correct?
Yes, I will. And we will have lots more fun activities to do.
Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do. I'm very excited.
Yay. Yeah, and don't be surprised. I don't have any hints yet, but I'm sure it'll be really fun stuff.
I bet. All right. Well, I have got mine made, my little necklace. So.
Oh, yay. Good.
Yay. So, you guys, if you think about it, go on our Facebook page, and under the live post for this, like, take a picture of your seed and show us how it grows, because we want to see.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that seed. That's what I want to see, that seed.
Yay! So if you guys think about that, definitely give us some updates, because we want to see how your seed grows.
Yes, we do.
All right. So that's all we have for you guys today. And we hope you enjoyed the STEM at Home program. And we hope you guys join us again in April.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.